Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. I share all about that and more on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about our February budget. I'm so excited for a new month and to be over January. I just feel like January is such a long month. I live in Wisconsin and it has been brutally cold here. So I am just looking forward to another month. I mean, February is usually pretty cold here as well. Sometimes it even gives January a run for its money, but I am just looking forward to the spring being on the horizon, right? Like I can see it coming. The days are getting a little bit longer and it's just nice to have something to look forward to. So let's go ahead and get started with our budget for February. February is a pretty low-key month. We really don't have a ton of extra things coming up in February, which is really nice because hopefully we'll be able to put a lot more towards our current financial goal that we're working on, which is our basement remodel fund. So let's go ahead and get started. For some background, if you're new here, I know a lot of you guys find me on my monthly budget videos. We are a family of 5. It's my husband, myself, and our 3 kids who are 9, 4, and 2. And yeah, that is our family. My husband and I both work full time. I also have a little side income from YouTube and some other side hustles that I do, not remotely any sort of full-time income, but I make a little bit of extra money on the internet and I share all about that on my channel. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we budget with is our income, obviously. So this is for my husband and I, and this is just our full-time salary. We don't budget any side hustle income until we actually receive it. So every single week in our Debt-Free Friday videos, I talk about our side hustle income and how we're allocating that in our budget. So we just budget based on our bare minimum income from our day jobs, and that's what we use for this budget. So that is $7,300. Now I do get a lot of questions of health insurance, any deductions, 401k, are we contributing? So we do pay for health insurance and all of those kind of things pre-tax out of our checks. That is before this number. So this is our net budget. So that's the money that actually hits our bank account every single month. So we do pay for health, dental, and then we have an HSA. We also both have life insurance through our employers, and we also both have 401ks through our employers that we contribute to as well. And then we both get matches from our employers. So that is all done before this money hits our bank account because that is all pre-tax. So hopefully that helps. Another thing that you will not see in our budget is cell phones. We do use Mint Mobile for our cell phones. If you guys are interested, check out my link below. I love Mint. My husband and I both use it. So we only pay for our cell phones once a year, which is really nice. And water bill is another thing I get questions about a lot. We only pay that quarterly. This is not a water bill month. So that's that. Let's go ahead and go down here to our mortgage. So this is our March 1st mortgage, and we are budgeting $2,100 for that. Now, this is probably not going to be correct because we did get our property tax bill and it was higher than anticipated. Well, that's not really true. We knew it was going to be higher because we've been actually underpaying our property taxes. Not underpaying. I'm really bad at explaining this. So we bought a new build in 2022 and the first year of our property taxes were really low because the majority of the year was a dirt patch because it wasn't built yet. And then 2023 was also lower. I don't really know why, they just never adjusted it. And then we got our property taxes for 2024 and they were what we expected. So they were much higher. So I'm waiting for them to recalculate our mortgage. So $2,100 is actually a little bit more than our mortgage actually is anyway. It is with adding a little bit extra to principal, but I would guess it's going to be maybe 23, 24. I honestly don't know. So I'm putting 21 for now. I don't know 100% if they're going to have it recalculated by the March payment or if it's going to be April. So I will adjust it obviously if we get our mortgage payment and it's higher. So stay tuned for the February budget recap and I'll let you guys know what happens with that. So that is our mortgage. Then we also have Canva. So I do use Canva for my content and posting stuff on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. That's what I use to make all of my Instagram posts. So I get a lot of questions about how I make my Instagram posts, and it's all on Canva. That's what I use to make all those graphics. And I do have to pay for the Pro membership annually. I usually take this money out of like extra income that I've gotten, but to be honest, I haven't gotten a lot of like, usually I use my Mint Mobile referrals to pay for like Canva and some of the other subscriptions that I have, but I haven't gotten a lot from Mint Mobile recently, which is totally fine. But I just needed to add it into our regular budget because I didn't have enough in my like reserve of my like business income or whatever you want to call it, to pay for this. So I'm adding it into our regular budget this month. So yeah, $125 for Canva Pro for that kind of stuff. I also use that for personal stuff too. Like I use it to make birthday party invitations for my kids. I used it to make our Christmas card this year. So it's not just for that. I use it for my personal stuff too. So then we have our Peloton. We do have a Peloton bike and we do pay $45 a month for that. And we also have our internet, which is $60 a month. We have giving. We have a recurring donation to St. Jude that we pay every single month for $100, so that's in there. Then we have childcare. So my daughter goes to a part-time preschool program. We have to pay for the other half, so that's $585 for the month. And we have our electric bill. So I don't know how much this is going to be, but I'm going to guess $250. It might be a little bit higher than that because it really just depends on how cold it is like during the entire period of the bill. So it's been pretty cold, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be higher, maybe a little bit, but again, not a huge deal. If it's a little bit over, we'll just adjust that in the budget when it hits. So that leaves our total fixed expenses at $3,265 and our remaining at $4,035. If you guys like this budget sheet that I use, I do have it for sale in my Etsy shop if you guys are interested. It is a part of my budget bundle. I also have a debt payoff bundle and a bunch of other printables. If you guys want to check that out, I always have my Etsy shop linked below. Next up is our variable expenses. So these are expenses that do change throughout the month. So we do have $200 for spending. So my husband and I both get $100 for spending every single month. We've been budgeting $250 for gas, which has been working out for us. I think we're actually going to end up pretty under budget in January because, again, it's been so freaking cold here that we just haven't been driving places. So, yeah. Groceries is $800. Fun and kids was $100 we're budgeting for that. So groceries, I'm keeping an eye on it because we did go over budget for sure in January, which was like brutal. It's pretty far over budget. You guys will see it when I post my January budget closeout, but it's pretty far over budget. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see if we need to raise it. January was like a long month. So there's like 5 weeks in January. So that didn't help. And then also we did not eat out, or we haven't eaten out. Obviously January's not over yet, but we are planning not to eat out at all in January. And so far we have not eaten out at all. So we have basically reallocated our dining out budget to our groceries because obviously if we're not eating out, we're going to be spending more on groceries because we have to be eating the meals that we would normally eat out. We are budgeting $200 for miscellaneous. This is anything that comes up throughout the month, and $250 for dining out. Again, like I said, we did not eat out in January. However, I'm not sure if we're going to do that. We're probably not going to do it for February, but I'm hoping that we can like reduce the amount we're eating out in February. So I'm going to do $250 and see how that goes, and I'll report back to you guys how that goes. So total variable expenses is $1,800. And that leaves our total remaining at $2,235. Next category we have is our sinking funds. I don't put dates in here because it kind of varies when I set these aside depending on when our paychecks are. So I usually make one transfer to our savings. We keep our savings in one savings account. So I make this in one savings. It depends on the date of our checks. So I usually go fill this out later. And then as far as our variable expenses, I usually pay these twice a month. So we do all of this spending on our credit cards. Well, our personal spending is done through like our personal checking accounts, but all of these are done on our credit card. And so I make 2 payments a month, a mid-month and an end of month. That's why I don't put dates here, just in case you guys were wondering if you're new here. And I'm also not going to put a date here either because we put money towards this every single week for Debt Free Friday. So sinking funds are just our savings. Again, we have this all in one savings account at our bank. All right, so for our sinking funds, we have 5 main sinking funds. We have our car, home, Christmas, kids, and vacation. So we have set aside this month $50 for car, $100 for home, $100 for Christmas, $50 for kids, and $200 for vacation. We've been doing $100, but we decided to bump this one up a little bit because we do have a vacation upcoming in March. So we just want to make sure we have enough for that, and make sure we have like enough spending money and all of that. We've already done like our flights and all of that, and we booked our Airbnbs already, but just want to make sure we have enough in there. And obviously, like, we don't want to drain it completely because we do want to be going on future vacations as well. So $200 for that. So that brings our total sinking funds to $500 for this month, and our total remaining at $1,735. And that will all be going towards our basement remodel fund. So that is the current financial goal that we are working on right now, is our basement remodel. So that will be where all of our extra money will be going for the month of February. And that is all I have for you guys for this budget. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have done your budget for February yet, or if you're planning to do one. If you're not planning to do one, you better get going. We need to be budgeting every single month in 2024 because we have financial goals to be working on. And thank you guys so much for being here and following my financial journey. It really helps me to stay on track with my goals as well. So I will talk to you guys on Friday for Debt Free Friday. Have a great week. Bye, guys.